Hello, welcome to English 3 Unit 12 Part 1. This is the penultimate video for English 3 with your Professor Neil and his TA Yoonghee.
Hello, where is Yoonghee?
Yoonghee is coming shortly.
Okay, this is TA Yoonghee.
Yes, and today we are on the last unit, Unit 12, and we're looking at modals again. More modal auxiliary verbs.
But this time should have, so modal plus present perfect tense.
Very good, yes. And that is what we're looking at in the starter and the grammar and the dialogue 3:12 in this part 1 of Unit 12. So let's dive into the starter, should have. The main word here to focus on is situations. Situations are events that you find yourself in now because of things you did in the past. So as it says, we have situations. What should have been done in these situations? So these 6 situations that you see in the photographs below. As it says, fill in the blanks with the past participle form of the verbs. So this is for situation 1, and you can see it's filled in for you, which is related to the verb up here, eat, and is the past participle form of the verb eat. So eat is the base form of the verb, and here is talking about past participle because of the verb before it, have.
Professor Neil, all these verbs given in this section, eat, leave, sleep, bring, wear, read, they're all irregular.
Irregular verbs, yes.
Wow, that makes it more difficult. So, shall we check the irregular form of these verbs to present, past participle first to help student?
Oh, go on then, Yoonghee.
Eat, ate, eaten. And how about to leave, Professor Neil?
Leave, left, left.
And sleep is sleep, slept, slept. How about bring, Professor Neil?
Bring, brought, brought.
Next one is wear, were, worn. Oh, finally. How about the read?
Read, read, read.
Okay, then this verb we have to use a third option of past participle because it is used after should have, used after has. So we have to say should have eaten.
Yes, so you could say I have eaten lunch. But here they're using the form I should have eaten because of the situation they find themselves in. So let's look at the first one. To help you hopefully understand this better, we're going to go through a question and answer related to this dialogue here. I'm hungry. I should have eaten lunch.
Oh, finally Yoonghee appeared on the bottom right corner.
There's Yoonghee. She's paying.
Hello, Yoonghee.
She's paying attention.
There are other people there.
Yes, well, they're going to give us notes. So as we said, we're going to ask some questions related to this vocabulary and situation. So what is the situation now? So now means present time. Present time. So let's say it's 3 p.m. 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So present tense. 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So what is the situation now?
I'm hungry.
Yes. I'm, being the woman in the photo, is hungry. She
I'm
is
the one who's hungry.
So she's saying, I am hungry. So it's like, why? Why are you hungry? Why are you hungry?
Why are you hungry?
So implying that hungry is not happy. And she's thinking, why are you hungry?
Because I didn't eat lunch.
Yes, so there's the point. Because I didn't eat lunch. So she didn't eat lunch, she skipped lunch. Maybe she was busy, but she didn't eat lunch. So here we have the reason she is hungry is because she didn't eat lunch. So that is the situation we are in now, that she is hungry. Second sentence is I should have eaten lunch. So why is she saying that? Why is she saying that? So we need another question to help us understand the second bit. What should you have done? And as she says here, I should have eaten lunch. So as Young-hee said before, we need eaten here because of the have and the should. And so we have our past participle.
Present
participle, even though it is in the past. Right? Because as we say, the situation is now. Now she is feeling that she should have eaten lunch at lunchtime. Now is the afternoon, and she is hungry because she didn't eat lunch. And her feeling now is that she should have eaten lunch, meaning she should have done something different in the past. But you can't change the past. What has happened has happened. There is no time machine. So as it says, if you had eaten lunch
in the past,
what would be the situation now? Now,
so if condition clause gives the past event, and then so based upon what happened in the past, so that's why I said had eaten lunch. What would you be like now?
Yes.
That is the answer.
So let's just go back a little bit quickly. We're just going to go back a little bit. Watch us go back. Going back. Why have I asked this question, you might ask? Well, it's going to relate to the grammar. Because in the grammar over here, they use words like would. They have this third condition. This is all related to our third conditional and using verbs like could and would, implying that you could change the past if you could change the past. But we can't change the past. So all we can do is think about changing the past.
It's like I wish I could, I wish I would, I wish I might have, or I wish I should.
Yes, so to change the past in your head, you use this I wish I could have. I wish I should have. Those usually more could.
But I didn't do it in the past.
Yes.
Past already gone.
So this is why we're going through explaining this. What is the situation now? She is hungry. So I am hungry. Right? As we say, why are you hungry? Well, in the past, I didn't eat lunch. So the situation is now is that if I could change the past, what would I have done? What should I have done? I should have eaten lunch. But as we said, you can't change the past. So we create the situation question to ask how you would have changed the past. If you had eaten lunch, what would be the situation now? So if the past had been different, what would have been the possible situation now?
I wouldn't be hungry.
I would not be hungry, or contracted by Young-hee, I wouldn't be hungry now. Now is in parenthesis because it's in the question. We don't have to repeat it necessarily, but we're going through this carefully and steadily. So if you're making notes, write it all down. So I would not be hungry now, but
I might still be hungry.
Yes, the future is coming. So we've put future here. So what about the future? What about the future? So what should I do now? And what I should do now is about the future.
Because I'm hungry now, what should I do now?
Yes.
I should eat.
I should eat some food. So this is the future. I should eat some food. And if you eat some food, what is the result?
Then Then I will be not hungry.
Yes. Then I will not be hungry. Yay! Happy. I will be happy if I'm not hungry.
Oh, bird is flying.
So we hope helps explain using the should have. The idea of should have is that in your brain, in your mind, you can change the past on the idea that you're going to change the future. You can't change the past, but you can use it to help change your situation in the future.
It's like that I get bad school from Professor Neil because I didn't do homework. So that I can say, I should have done the homework.
Yes. So what should I do now? I got a bad grade. I should do the homework next time or in the future. So at the moment we're using now. But we want to look at how you can use this to even change your planning and idea for the future. So hopefully she gets her lunch. Maybe go in the cafe here. For now, our characters are going to kazoom out of here.
That the quarter-pound cheese hamburger is very yummy, Professor.
How do you say it, Youngie?
Quarter-pound cheeseburger.
And fries to go.
Yes.
That was the first look at the past participle. Now we're going to look at the second one.
He looked very wet.
He is soaked. Very wet, soaked. So we're only going to go through one more in this depth. The others we will do with talking and practice and prepare you for talking in class or in online or wherever you practice your speaking. So as Youngie said, he said, I'm soaked, meaning very, very wet. I should have brought an umbrella. Present participle of bring, brought.
I didn't bring an umbrella, therefore I got wet.
So let's go through the similar questions to before. Oh, you got a trumpet there. Yeah, there we go. What is the situation now?
I am soaked.
Yes, I am soaked. Soaked. Last summer, during the rainy season, I was soaked at least 3 or 4 times. So I understand why he says the next thing.
You should have brought umbrella.
Yes, why are you soaked? As he says, because I didn't bring an umbrella. Why is it? Because I didn't bring an umbrella. I had no umbrella in the past. So I was soaked now. What should you have done?
I should have brought an umbrella.
Yeah, so this sentence here answers what should you have done to stop yourself being soaked. Soaked. Okay, he is soaked. Good. You're going to get lots of practice. Rainy season's coming. So learn that word, soaked. Strange pronunciation, I guess.
You have to be very careful with the pronunciation of that one.
If you had brought an umbrella, what would be the situation now?
I wouldn't be soaked. I would not be soaked.
Yes, then you would have been happy, because you'd have been dry. So I would be dry now, but I would not be soaked. I would probably be a little wet, but not soaked. And again, we will now consider the future. So in the past, he didn't bring an umbrella, so he's thinking, what can I learn from this situation? What can I learn from this situation? So before we've been saying now, but the future is not now. The future is next time. So next time it rains. Next time it rains, what should you do?
I should bring an umbrella, or I should carry an umbrella next time.
Yeah, so quite often we use the phrase I should bring or I should carry an umbrella next time. So there is no point him having an umbrella this time. He's already soaked. So he should use this situation to prepare himself for the future.
future alternative.
Yes. Learn from the situation, and then
He will not be soaked.
yeah. All right. Then I will not be soaked. All right. Notice how we switch between like he and she, because when we are talking about him, we use he in the photo. But if it's he talking, he's going to use I to talk about himself. So please don't get too confused with us switching between the pronouns. Let's look at the other situations briefly, or how to talk about them with your partner. Well done. You can go home now. Thank you.
He's gone.
Yeah, so Youngie finished scratching her ear. And we're back at the other situation. So, as mentioned, we want to put the past participle in to these gaps. Oh, look, we've done them all magically for you.
Wow.
Yes.
So good.
Or close your eyes if you don't want to see them and you want to do them. And then write them with your eyes closed. Okay, so we got the 6 situations. Now, if we're in class, we'll put you into groups and we'll get you to ask your partner about each picture. And you would ask the question like, what is the situation? So let's look at the one over here. So doing the same idea. So Younghee, this one over here. What is the situation?
She is tired.
She is tired, yes. Why are they, or why is she tired?
Because she didn't sleep more.
Yes, notice that Younghee changed it to sleep more. What should they have done?
She should have slept more.
Yes. What would you... Now, a little change here. A little change, because I would want you to ask your partner the question. What would you do if you were tired now?
I would... If I were tired now, then I would sleep.
Take a nap. Yes, take a nap.
Sleep.
So you notice here, this is for if you want to move the conversation to talking about you in a conversation situation. So once again, so what if we're in class now? I would mix you into groups, mix you into pairs. Maybe we'll do a little quiz first, and then you'd move around and ask partners and people the questions. What is the situation? Why are they?
Speed date.
Yes. What should you do? And based on their answer, you would know if they are the person for you or not. And we can check more of that in a bit. So those are the 6 situations. So it says here, like, I am cold. I should have worn a jacket. What would you do if you were cold now? If you were cold now, what would you do? You can change the location of the if. You can put it at the beginning of the sentence. What would you do if you were confused now? What would you do if you were late now? And so on. If I were late now, then I would apologize and say, I'm sorry, I'm late. Take down your notes and come with us now to Dialogue 312, our last dialogue in Fast Track Unit 12, our last track in the book.
Ooh, this is our last unit of the English 3 book.
Yes, it's the last ever Fast Track dialogue you're approaching.
Like my Boom Boom car. The cartoon, famous cartoon.
Okay.
There's a yellow cartoon.
We won't let you have to go through explaining all that.
No, the profession you added the convertible car there with a very smiley face.
Yes. Well, it mentions here that we've got Eric and John talking about Eric giving Kate, he offered to drive her. But it didn't work out. She might have gotten the job. So meaning Kate missed an interview, and we're going to look at why.
Eric must be feeling very guilty.
So we're going to look at why he might. But before we do the questions, we will read the dialogue. So listen And pay attention to the parts with the if conditional. Right, with the if, which are marked in yellow. So Yongi, if you read John, I'll read Eric. Did you hear what happened yesterday?
No. Why? Was it something serious?
Kate missed her interview because of me. If I hadn't offered to drive her, things could have turned out better.
Ooh, what was the problem? Didn't you pick her up?
I did pick her up, but I was late. There was an accident on the highway. If I had arrived even a little earlier, she might not have missed the interview.
She must know that it wasn't your fault.
Of course she knows, but if I were her, I would still be furious. She might have gotten the job she really wanted if I hadn't tried to help.
I think you're being too hard on yourself. If the drivers in the accident had paid more attention, none of the problems would have happened.
When you see Kate, can you explain it that way? So Eric is feeling a little guilty because he had offered to drive Kate to her interview, but he was late picking her up because of an accident on the highway. So because he was late picking her up, she missed the interview. She missed the interview.
This is strange though. Don't they have a smartphone they can call? And then if the car accident occurred,
Not in this city.
And then she could just hire the taxi.
Yes. So Eric was not in an accident. There was an accident on the highway, so there was traffic and he was late. And Eric thinks Kate should be furious because she would have gotten the job she really wanted. So she really wanted this job if he hadn't helped her. Because he helped her, she didn't get the job she really wanted. Because he tried to help her, he was late picking her up. And as John points out, Eric is being too hard on himself. If the drivers hadn't had the accident and had paid more attention, none of Eric's problems or Kate's problems would have happened. And so Eric says to John, could you please explain that to Kate so that she can understand?
Very interesting. Bygones.
Yes,
you cannot change what happened in the past.
Exactly, and that's what we said in the before. He should have left earlier, but he couldn't have left earlier. So next time, he should leave earlier. Looking at the third conditional if, let's ask some questions, which will probably pop up in the homework as usual. Why did Kate miss her interview?
Because Eric was late.
Nah, simple yes, because Eric was late picking her up. Why was Eric late picking her up, Kate?
Because there was an accident on the highway.
Yes. Why should Eric not... Oh, pause. Why should Eric not be too hard on himself?
Because it's not his fault.
Yes, because he didn't cause the accident, because it's not his fault. And lastly, if Eric had not offered to pick up Kate, would she have gotten the job?
We don't know.
That's impossible to answer. Impossible to answer. Possibly.
Maybe.
Yes,
half
maybe.
and half.
Because being late for the interview didn't help her. There you go. The advice is this. If you have an interview, do not be late. And do not ask Eric to drive you because he is unlucky.
Avoid Eric.
Yeah, blame Eric.
No, that's a bit unfair.
So we've mentioned here, a lot of this dialogue involves the third conditional. We've talked about this in the starter. So third conditional is grammar that talks about situations that happened in the past that you could possibly consider changing in the future. if you had done something else. So each of these has an if and a subject, a had in past, a have in had past tense, and then a verb with the past participle. And then there's a comma, and then the subject again, and then you've got the modal in past tense, the have, and these are the auxiliaries, and the verb in the past participle again, but a different verb, usually a different verb.
So this is only like in a, because what happened in the past, the now situation is like that. So you only need to remember that what happened in the past using if. Then the verb tense has to in the form of a had, PP.
There's your PP. There's your PP.
And then to the main clause. So after the subject, you should use could have PP, would have PP, might have PP, should have PP.
Yeah, PP. So the PP is the bit here in red.
That's the English grammar. This is something we have to
zoom,
memorize.
Yeah, so let's just have a little zoom in on that.
If something had happened in the past, something had happened in the past because it was already finished.
Yes, you could.
Now I could have, would have, might have, should have
changed it.
Yeah, done something like that. So spoken one, appeared, started.
Notice how up to now, like spoken and one are irregular verbs. Appeared and started are regular because they have the ed. Not all verbs in the world are irregular. Okay, before we go on to speaking one, I guess we'll take a break. Thank you for joining us for part 1. Thank you for joining us in English 3. That's the end of part 1. This is goodbye from Professor Neil and goodbye from T.A. Yonghee.
Goodbye.
Bye.